Are there any regrets that you have?
Absolutely. I'm a human being. I've made mistakes.
For decades, Benny Hinn walked onto stages wearing the same white suit, raised his hand, and thousands of people collapsed to the ground. Some believed their cancer had disappeared. Others believed their pain was gone forever. And inside packed arenas like Madison Square Garden, the crowd watched what looked like miracles happening in real time. People cried, people shouted, people ran to the stage hoping to be the next one healed. For years, this was the image the world saw. A preacher with supernatural power, a man who could command a stadium with a whisper. But decades later, something shocking happened. The same man sat in front of a camera and admitted something no prosperity preacher had ever said out loud. He said the prosperity gospel was wrong, and he said he was partly responsible for spreading it. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. The confession didn't end the story. In many ways, it only exposed something much bigger. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this, because to understand why everything started falling apart, we have to go back to the moment his empire became unstoppable. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Benny Hinn wasn't just a popular preacher, he was a global phenomenon. His miracle crusades filled some of the largest venues in the world. Crowds packed into places like the Alamodome and Madison Square Garden. Thousands of people traveled across cities and even countries hoping for one moment, one touch, one miracle, and millions more watched from home. His television program, This Is Your Day, was broadcast in more than 200 countries. At its peak, the ministry claimed it reached nearly 1 billion homes worldwide. Whether that number was exact didn't really matter. What mattered was that people believed it, and belief created something powerful. Because when a crowd believes miracles are happening in front of them, they don't just watch, they trust, they follow, and many of them give. But what most viewers never saw was how the system behind those crusades really worked. From the outside, the crusades looked spontaneous. But behind the scenes, the operation ran like a carefully designed machine. Before each event, thousands of people registered to attend. That simple step placed their names on the ministry's mailing list. And that list became one of the most powerful tools in the entire operation. Letters began arriving in mailboxes, urgent messages, personal promises. Some said God had revealed a breakthrough for the person reading it. Others suggested a financial gift could release a miracle. Viewers watching Benny Hinn on television were encouraged to call prayer lines and make pledges. Phones were staffed with trained operators who knew how to keep conversations going and increase donations. Books were sold. One prayer cloths were mailed out. Special anointing oil was offered. Every item promised access to something sacred. But together, they created something else entirely. A ministry that critics say was generating tens of millions of dollars each year. And that money raised a question investigators couldn't ignore. Where exactly was it all going? For years, Benny Hinn preached a simple message. Faith mattered more than money. Trust God, and blessings would follow. But as donations poured in, critics began noticing a very different picture behind the scenes. Hinn was living in a luxury oceanfront mansion in Dana Point, California. He traveled on private jets. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. 5-star hotels became routine stops during crusade tours. To supporters, it was proof that God had blessed his ministry. To critics, it looked like something else. In 2010, those concerns reached Washington. U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley launched an inquiry into several televangelists, including Hinn's ministry. Investigators asked for financial records and documentation showing how donor money was being used, but full cooperation never came. The inquiry eventually closed without subpoenas. No fraud was proven, yet the questions didn't disappear, because the deeper investigators looked, the more troubling another issue became. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about the people who believed the miracles were real. For many people, the crusades were not entertainment. They were hope. People arrived sick, desperate, and believing Benny Hinn might be the person God would use to heal them. Some walked onto the stage in wheelchairs. Others came carrying medical records and oxygen tanks. And when Hinn declared they were healed, many believed him. Years later, a documentary from HBO followed up on several of those miracle claims. Some of the people who had been pronounced healed were still sick. Others had already died. One of the strongest voices speaking about what happened came from inside Hinn's own family. His nephew, Costi Hinn, later described the system in his book, God, Greed, and the Prosperity Gospel. But the most shocking moment came in 2019. That's when Benny Hinn himself admitted something almost no one expected. He said the prosperity gospel had gone too far. But the real story didn't start with that confession. It started with what he did next.